So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to install and configure Windows Server 2019, which is going to be our main domain controller. Within the Windows Server 2019, we're going to install so many tools that will help us to achieve our goal on this project. We'll be looking at Active Directory, we'll be looking at DHCP, we'll be looking at installing DNS, and so to install Windows Server 2019, if you remember in the beginning, we downloaded all our tools into this folder. I will open this folder, and I have an ISO file that I downloaded from Microsoft Evaluation Center. So we'll go inside of our VMware Workstation that we created in our last lesson, and we'll click on Edit this virtual machine, and we'll point your arrow or your cursor to CD-ROM drive, and on the right side we'll click on Use ISO image file. So I will select that, and I will browse to the location where my Server 2019 is, which is on the desktop tools in this folder. Select the Server 2019, and then I will click open. Now our Windows Server 2019 installation file is now mounted to our new workstation. I will click on OK. Once you click on OK, try to maximize your workstation and click on Power on this virtual machine. So click on that. Our machine is now booting up. Press any key, and then it's loading files. It's loading our operating system files, which is the Server 2019, and it's beginning to install the Windows 2019 Server operating system. On this page for our Windows Server, we are being presented with a language to install, which is the default language is United States. I will leave it like that. The time and currency format is also United States. The keyboard or input method is also US, which is good for me. I will click on Next, and then I will click on Install Now. And now setup is starting to copy necessary files and generating our installation. On the Windows setup page, we are being asked to select the operating system that we want to install. I will just go with the standard evaluation, the desktop experience. That's the one I want to choose, and I will click Next. And applicable notices and license terms, I will accept all of the terms and click Next. So on the type of installation page, which type of installation do you want? I will select Custom Install Windows Only. Advanced, I'll click on that, and then we have our disk that we created when we created the virtual machine. I will select that as a default disk, and I will click on Next. As you can see, so Windows Server 2019 installation has now begun. And now it's rebooting the server to finish the installation. So Windows Server 2019 is now at the point where we have to specify a password. So go ahead and give it a very secure password. And then you will click on Finish to finalize your installation setting. Once you have clicked on Finish, you will see that the Windows Server 2019 will go to the login screen. So go to the top and click on VM, click on Send Ctrl Alt Delete, So click on that, and then you will see you can now log in as an administrator of this server. So enter your password, and Windows is now trying to load our user profile, which is the administrator profile. It's applying all the settings and starting up all the group policies. As you can see, we have now successfully installed Windows Server 2019. Go ahead and click yes when you receive this network prompt to join the host network, and the server manager is now automatically starting up. Now we're going to do some configuration before we finish this lesson. At this point, close down the server manager. So I will close down this, and I will close the server manager. The next configuration I will want to perform is go back to make sure that we have a full screen. So to do that, we need to have our additions installed. So click on VM, click on install VMware tools, click on that. Once you click on that, it will mount the CD for the guest additions. So we'll go into Windows Explorer. Try and bring up your Windows Explorer by clicking. Alright, and it's now mounted the DVD with VMware tools. So go onto this PC and right click on the DVD drive, which is actually mounted with VMware tools, and install the VMware tools. Now VMware product installation will now start. The addition is now starting to install. Once it's started, you will get this prompt, the VMware tool setup. Click on next and select complete on the setup type, and go next and click install. Alright, as you can see, once you finish installing the VMware tool setup, you can now access the Windows Server in a full very beautiful screen. Click on finish, and you have to reboot your Windows Server to get back. So click on yes and reboot. Alright, once Windows has been rebooted, go and log in as an administrator, and then enter your password. Alright, so once you enter the administrator password, the Windows Server Manager will try to start up again. I will just minimize that and close that out, close that up, and just minimize that a little bit. We're going to be using this Server Manager a lot in our next lesson. During our next lesson, we're going to be accessing lots of files. If you remember our files that we downloaded during the first tutorial, which is the tools, we need to be able to access this folder from inside of our workstation, which is our guest. So we're going to need to set up a tunnel. So basically, go to VMware and go to settings. We're going to have to set up like a shared folder between this guest machine and our host computer. So go into options and select shared folder. You will notice that it's disabled. Make sure you select enabled All right, and you can map as a network drive in Windows Guest, which is fine, but I will just go and click on add. Click when you get the add shared folder wizard page, click on next, and the path, you have to select the path where your tools or where you store your folder on the host machine. So browse to that path. For example, it's on my desktop and it's tools, so click on OK. So make that folder your shared folder between the host computer and the guest computer, which is our Windows Server 2019. Click on next and click on enable this share. You can only play around if you want to. If you don't want anybody to delete anything or edit anything inside that folder, you can use read only, but I'm just going to leave it for default. So click on finish and click on OK, and you should be able to, that folder should be able to appear in our network. So on the left side, click on network, and then you see a VMware host, and all of the device that you have within your network will show up. So double click on the VMware host and double click on shared folders, and there you go, there's tools. So all our tools is here. For better access, I'm going to copy all of them over into our C location. So right click and copy all of it, go back into your local drive, which is C, create another folder and name it tools, just to make things faster when we start installing other programs that we need. Right click and then paste. As you can see, we're now copying all our tools that we need for this project. We're copying them inside of our guest Windows Server machine. Now that our file is almost finished copying, we'll end the lesson right here.